Christ mind defined. Christ mind is the state of consciousness in which awareness is both lucid and compassionate, operating in harmony with universal intelligence. It is not an external title or achievement. It is an alignment of thought, emotion, and perception that allows one to perceive reality with clarity, act from empathy, and resonate with the principles that govern the cosmos. In this state, the mind moves beyond reactive thinking, judgment, and ego-driven patterns, instead functioning as a conscious conduit for insight, wisdom, and aligned action. Lucidity allows for clarity of perception, compassion softens response, and guides interaction. And alignment with universal intelligence ensures that every thought, word, and action harmonizes with the flow of life. Practically, cultivating Christ mind requires intentional practice. Begin by observing your thoughts and emotional reactions throughout the day, noting when judgment, fear, or attachment arise. Use reflective journaling, meditation, or mindfulness exercises to identify moments where your consciousness drifts from clarity and compassion. Then consciously redirect your focus toward understanding, empathy, and constructive action. Visualizations and affirmations can support this alignment, as can practices that strengthen resonance with higher principles, such as mindful breathing, energy work, or immersion in nature. The goal is not to suppress normal human experience, but to respond to it from a state of lucid, compassionate awareness rather than unconscious reaction. Spiritually, Christ mind represents the embodiment of conscious unity with the universal flow of life. It is a recognition that consciousness is not isolated, that every thought and action carries vibrational weight, and that compassion and clarity are the tools by which alignment is maintained. By cultivating Christ mind, you access higher intuition, energetic coherence, and the ability to influence reality with integrity and resonance. It is both a state of being and a practice, a continuous effort to live in conscious alignment, to perceive with lucidity, and to act with empathy and insight. In this way, Christ mind is the bridge between human awareness and universal intelligence, guiding the practitioner toward mastery of thought, alignment of energy, and the realization that wisdom and compassion are inseparable aspects of conscious living. Not owned by any religion, but a natural state of consciousness. Symptoms. The emergence of Christ mind is accompanied by clear, observable shifts in perception, emotion, and behavior. One of the first signs is less reactivity. Situations that once triggered anger, fear, or frustration now evoke measured awareness and thoughtful response. The mind no longer acts as a slave to habitual patterns. Instead, it observes and chooses. This reduction in reactive impulses is both practical and spiritual, allowing for calmer decision-making and greater coherence in thought, word, and deed. Alongside reduced reactivity comes deeper compassion. Awareness expands to include the experiences and struggles of others, not as abstract concepts, but as real, resonant reflections of your own consciousness. Empathy becomes natural rather than forced, and interactions are guided by understanding rather than judgment. This heightened compassion strengthens relationships, nurtures harmony, and aligns your energy with the universal principle of interconnectedness. Another sign is spontaneous joy, moments of pure, unprovoked delight arising from presence and resonance rather than external circumstance. This joy is not dependent on achievement or possession. It emerges from alignment with the flow of life and the conscious integration of mind, body, and spirit. It is a symptom of energetic coherence, reflecting the natural state of a mind attuned to higher intelligence. Finally, practitioners often report a sense of unity. The boundary between self and other, observer and observed, begins to dissolve. There is a deep recognition that all life is interconnected, that your actions ripple outward, and that consciousness flows through and beyond the individual. This sense of unity fosters humility, gratitude, and reverence for existence, reinforcing both spiritual insight and practical harmony in daily living. Collectively, these symptoms indicate the active integration of Christ mind, the lucidity of thought, the empathy of spirit, the joy of resonance, and the recognition of universal unity. They are both markers of progress and tools for further cultivation, guiding the practitioner to live with clarity, integrity, and conscious alignment in every moment. Awakening. Step: cultivating Christ mind requires deliberate, consistent practices that align thought, emotion, and energy with universal intelligence. These practices are not symbolic gestures. They are tangible exercises of consciousness that gradually transform perception and behavior. Begin with gratitude. Daily reflection on what is present, what is alive, and what nourishes your being. Gratitude tunes your mind and heart to abundance rather than lack, shifting energy from reaction to resonance. It rewires perception to notice gifts rather than grievances, creating a foundation of alignment and clarity. Service is another key practice. Acting in ways that uplift, support, or contribute to others reinforces the principle of interconnectedness. Service need not be grand. Even small acts of kindness, listening attentively, or offering practical assistance align your energy with compassion and universal flow. Through service, the mind learns to extend beyond self-interest, and the spirit experiences the joy and coherence that arise from conscious contribution. Stillness is the portal to insight and integration. Regular meditation, quiet reflection, or mindful breathwork allows the mind to settle, the nervous system to harmonize, and intuitive guidance to emerge. In stillness, distractions fade, and the subtle currents of consciousness become perceptible. This practice strengthens clarity, presence, and the capacity to act with intention rather than reaction. Forgiveness is a practice of liberation, releasing the weight of resentment, guilt, and judgment, both towards self and others. Forgiveness does not erase the past. It clears energetic blockages, restoring flow and allowing love, compassion, and clarity to emerge unimpeded. Truth-telling, the final practice, cultivates integrity and authenticity, aligning words with inner knowing and actions with intention. Speaking truthfully fosters trust, clarity, and coherence, reinforcing the energetic resonance of Christ mind in every interaction. Spiritually, these practices work together to cultivate lucid, compassionate awareness. They strengthen alignment between mind, body, and spirit, refine energetic coherence, and open access to universal intelligence. Practiced consistently, they manifest the symptoms of Christ mind: less reactivity, spontaneous joy, deeper compassion, and a sense of unity. In this way, Christ mind is not an abstract ideal. It is a living, practical state of consciousness achieved through deliberate cultivation, conscious action, and the ongoing integration of awareness into everyday life.